All right, welcome to another video from the chart readers. We will be looking at the major markets using a mix of the ETFs and then the majors themselves. We'll do what we always do, right? We're going to look at the daily and the weekly. We have our 5 moving averages. There is only one, but we will use these horizontal support and resistance lines that I do manually draw. And then when we are done up here, we will use the MACD and the RSI as our lower indicators for confirmation. So look, a pretty good day overall, right? I mean, a lot to be said here. We were a little iffy yesterday, right? I mean, not a very good confirmation, right? Nonetheless, still kind of keeping that uptrend going. And this is one of the good things about having a good spacing between moving averages, right? This is why I don't like clusters as much. When you break it, you get a little chance to kind of reset and then go again versus having the line just so stacked up. And if you can't make it back to back to back, you fall, right? So that's why I always talk about getting over clusters. Even just a 2-line cluster is a lot harder than just breaking one, then hopefully breaking another one, and then hopefully breaking another one, right? So, but let's kind of talk about what we're looking at. Look, there was a moment and it actually opened above the 100, right? It opened at this 290 number, right? Unfortunately, it definitely dropped a little more than ideal. However, I'm still seeing a pretty good uptrend forming here, right? We definitely are well above the 8, which I still really like. We definitely did way better than yesterday. And we did better than the last big green candle, which I really like as well, right? I don't like that we fell this much. We actually fell to, okay, nice. Only, not even like 50% candle is about right here, right? So I'm glad we didn't fall lower than 50% of this last big green one. I love that too. These both down here look great, right? Green over red, both of them seemingly like they want to keep going up. And then our RSI is actually pretty low too. And look, if we can just break out of this and if we can really get over 63, hopefully it'll give us a nice little rocket to 70. Again, that said, we still have not broken the 100, okay? And I'm going to zoom out a bit because I don't even know why I remember this, but I remember what happened. Sorry. Okay, look. Yeah, back here during the COVID break, right? You can see that the last line was the 100. Once it broke the 100, it did a really nice fly, right? And then again, I kind of see the same. Obviously, the 200 is the main one, right? But the 100, the reason why I zoomed out so much is the 100's it's an important one, right? And I talked about it previously. I like the fact that we'd broken it once. Obviously, clearly failed pretty hard after, right? But hopefully, the fact that we've been over it and kind of stayed over it for a number of days gives us a shot here, right? Again, nothing matters till it breaks, but if we break the 100, the next place we'd go is this 200, right? That's just kind of how these moving averages work, right? But again, 4 days over the 8, 4 days over the 20, 4 days over the 50. I love all that. We just need to get hopefully a day and then a confirmation day after over the 100 to feel real good here. Again, this was QQQ. Why is this lagging a little bit? Comp X? Nope. What happened here? Comp Q? That's what happened. NASDAQ Composite. Again, the exact same things, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 days over both. 1, 2, 3, 4 days over the 50. This one actually didn't even touch the 100 if you see it, right? On QQQ, man, pudgy fingers. No bueno. On QQQ, we actually opened over it and closed, but on the NASDAQ itself, it didn't even come to the 100, right? So that's an interesting thing. Again, still liking these. Yeah, that's interesting though on the 100. I will note that one more time. Let's just take a look at the weekly real quick. Nice. We are over the 8 for now 2 weeks. Again, still a little early in this week, obviously, right? But I'm liking that we're still over the 8, and now we are, again, still a little early, but 2 weeks over the 200, which is great. I wish this RSI looked a little better, but that MACD looks nice. However, we're definitely in the deep negatives, right? So let's get out of that deep negative for sure. Let's look at the QQQ weekly. Again, pretty much the same thing. Still not a great RSI. MACD not as deep in the negative, but definitely still in the negative. But yeah, nothing too crazy on QQQ. Again, the 100 is definitely what matters here on both NASDAQ and QQQ. So coming into SPY. So again, this is the S&P 500 ETF. Check it out. This one was actually able to break the 100, right? So we've said that the SPY as well as the Russell 2000, they're both doing better than NASDAQ, but not quite as good as the Dow Jones, which we'll get to, right? But very quickly, you can see this is definitely doing better than the NASDAQ, mainly because, look, we broke the 100, right? Again, just zooming out, this one also broke it here, tested it here, finally broke it, right? I would say this is a little more dominant because I don't remember this second break. Let me go back to QQQ just real quick. Oh, it did do it as well. Nice. I love it. Okay, cool. So SPY hopefully will show what NASDAQ will do by breaking, showing confirmation. Again, yesterday looked a little scary, right? We actually fell well below 50%. But today we were actually able, are we over? We're not over, but we're at least over 50%, which I do like, right? So this is coming to the 200 test now, which is very important, right? Coming to the SP500. Why is this bad boy lagging? I don't like that. Again, same thing. And actually, we have a resistance here. So it kind of shows this horizontal trading just a little bit better because we didn't have this resistance on SPY. But nonetheless, the moving averages look pretty much the same, right? Broke the 100 for a few days, and hopefully, I like that we're over this line. That is actually good, right? And then from there, hopefully we get to the 200, excuse me. Let's take a look at the weekly just real quick. Nice, that's a good weekly. Again, over the 8 for a few weeks for sure. I like that so far we're at least holding to the upper half, for lack of words, of that big candle, right? Same ugly RSI. I don't know why that's doing that across, right? So maybe that's a sign that the weeklies aren't, magnificent. I don't know what else to call it, right? But yeah, that's definitely going to be a good test once we get a little closer to it. But hey, if we can get close to that, that's a good thing, right? That definitely would be a break of the 200 here. Let's go to the Russell. Let's go to the Russell next because, again, that one seems very similar to SPY. And again, look at that. Wow. Okay. So I've been going back and forth between the Russell and the SP500 because they both, again, they're both doing better than NASDAQ, not quite as good as Dow Jones, right? And here it looks like the Russell is doing better than the SP500. I have to note though, this is starting to kind of show a cluster forming, right? I like these moving averages going up. Actually, I talked about it on one of my last comments, but golden crosses are where lower ones break above big ones. So this 8 broke above the 100. That's really big. The 20 broke over the 200. Oh, sorry. The 20 broke over the 50 right here, right? It kind of looks like the 20 wants to break over the 100 as well, right? So as little ones break up, that's good. And as little ones go up, especially the 8, it makes you think that the rest of them will go up, right? But again, this right here is a doji right after a moving average. That's a really big thing, right? It definitely broke it. It definitely did better than this candle, but there were moments where it went up and down and pretty much stayed. Tomorrow will be pretty important for the Russell, in all honesty. I think we'll see how this doji plays out tomorrow, but very much trading kind of horizontally on that 200. Still looking bullish though. I'm not going to say it's not, but yeah. And then look, I mean, again, the weekly's sitting in a pretty important place, right? Still that ugly RSI. It's really interesting. But yeah, if we can get over the 50, obviously that'd be really huge. But again, getting over the 50 would really mean confidently breaking that 200, right? So, excuse me. I think that's about it for that. And then let's take a look at the, let's start with the DIA before I go to the Dow Jones. So again, look at the DIA. Look here, like let's just talk about golden cross, golden cross, golden cross, golden cross. Golden Cross, maybe another one right there, right? Again, those are good things, right? It's good when these lower ones break above the big ones. And again, it's good when we keep seeing an uptrend on the lines, right? So, yeah, look, I mean, this is still a relatively low RSI. This thing really could keep going on the dailies. We're still over. Oh, we're about, yeah, hopefully tomorrow we go up because the last thing I want to do is lose 50%, which is pretty much where we closed. For sure, a real bad thing would be losing 334. I don't want to lose 334 again. Hopefully we would bounce off the 8 kind of like we did right here, right? That was more of a bounce on the 200, but bouncing off the 8 is still something we can do. But obviously, I'd love to not go lower than this and not have to even worry about the 8, right? Especially because our RSI is still pretty healthy. It's definitely, higher 60s, right? We normally start getting worried around the 80s. So DIA still going strong. Let's look at the DJ 30. Just to actually look at the why is this thing lagging? The Dow Jones itself. Again, yeah, pretty much the same chart that I'm seeing here. Nothing too spectacular to call out. Yeah, and we're getting closer to the golden lines, right? The good money trading. So, especially if we can just get over that bad boy right there, that'd be real good to do. So, again, still a potential to set up an M for murder if bad things happen, if it can't get over this. But again, still pretty bullish, right? I'm only sprinkling a little bit of pessimistic just to, keep it in check. But so far, things are looking good. Again, this is a really important weekly right now. I wish this was doing just a little better. I wish it was up here. But again, you can see a doji starting. Still a little early. But hey, I mean, this is the last of the moving averages on the weekly, right? If you can get a good confirmation here, man, that'd be a beautiful thing. So, and look, just calling this out because again, sprinkling some pessimistic stuff. We've seen where this curve, this specifically being the top moving average, this could be a test and a fail, right? And it's also where I went back to like, there's still a chance that this forms an M for murder, right? It obviously looks like we made this W down here. And I mean, dude, what a W. We definitely killed it. But it might just be a big M. So be careful, right? That said, I mean, it's been some fantastic trading, right? So right now we're over all the moving averages. It's just really a matter of, let me go back to the NASDAQ, getting this up here too, right? Because NASDAQ's down there. The other two are a little bit higher, right? This one's over that 100. This one is actually over the 200, right? Just a little better confirmation on the last two would be better. But again, all of them are starting to move up together, which is great. I need them all to be above the 200 together. That will be beautiful. I'm still sprinkling some pessimistic here and there until, again, this gets over, because we saw it where only one was under and the others weren't, right? So we've seen it where they don't do the same thing and things can flip very quickly, right? So just be cautious, but look, put your money in there and honestly just bank profits still, right? It's still a little worrisome to hold, even though we've been seeing a little bit more consistent trading than we have in the past. So trade safely out there. Days are getting good, which is great, right? Just keep a little pessimistic thoughts in the back pocket just in case anything changes. You won't be surprised, right? But again, things are looking good across all these majors. Have a great one.